So I just recently started watching Bel-air. You know, the whole re-edition or remake or whatever you want to call it of the Fresh Prince of Bel-air, and it's about Will Smith, and it's like a more dramatized version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-air. This show good as hell, bro. I don't give a damn. I think I like this show just as much as the original Fresh Prince of Bel-air. Um, and it's a big difference, but at the same time, like when we look at the characters, they do still remind me of the ones from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like the boy that plays Will, I can feel the Will vibes from him, bro. Like I can feel it. But this version of him is more of like a hood nigga, and I noticed that too. Like he's more of like a hood nigga. You know, at the beginning of the show, spoilers. At the beginning of the show, you know, he pulls a gun out. He shoots the gun into the air because he's playing basketball in this court. Because this one dude who's like another hood nigga tries to disrespect him in front of everybody on his block in Philly. So he's like, nah, nigga. He gets to basketball court and he challenges this guy named Rashad, which is hilarious because that's my name. So he like challenges this guy's homie and they put money on it. But then the dude that he beat at basketball throws the ball at the Rashad dude. That nigga gets hella mad, and then he talks hella shit, and he calls Will a bitch. Will punches him, and then they both go to jail. And then the Rashad dude basically says he's going to kill Will, and Will ends up getting out of jail because his mom gets him out of jail, and then he gets sent to Bel-air, and then he ends up living with his family. You know, Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv, Hillary, Ashley, and freaking Carlton. Now, what I like about this show is that the characters, you can feel how similar they are to the old school characters, but they are also extremely different. Like the Aunt Viv in this show 100% reminds me of the original dark skinned Aunt Viv that was on the original Fresh Prince of Bel-air. She does have the look. She reminds me of her. Like I feel the energy of her being like the original one. And this one speaks her mind just as much as the original one did. However, this one is a little different because we hear about her background, about how she wants to do art, but she was scared to do art, and she has resentment towards her husband, Uncle Phil. And it's mostly because Uncle Phil's kind of selfish in the show, but like not selfish at the same time. Like he makes everything about himself, but then always says that he's doing this stuff for his family, um, which he is. And but that's mostly his character. His character is like he's trying to protect his family. Oh, we also have Jeffrey, and Jeffrey is more like a hood Jamaican African kind of dude in this show, and I really love the vibes of that. He's like the muscle of the family. He like protects the family, buys the groceries, all that good stuff. And basically, what happens at this show is that Will moves in, and Carlton really just cannot. Like Carlton hates this shit. But at first, Carlton was giving me these vibes. I was like, bro, I can't stand this nigga. This nigga gets on my nerves, bro. Like, he was really irritating me, like, irking me. Like, every little thing he did was, like, irritating my soul. And I know they did that on purpose. But he was getting on my nerves. But, you know, Will's the main character, and we follow him, so we love this nigga. So it was like everything Carlton was doing was getting on my nerves. Carlton was being rude, aggressive, passive-aggressive, being disrespectful. He even pushes Will into a swimming pool, and Will can't swim, so Will almost drowns. However, when I took a step back and analyzed it, Will was also being an asshole because he literally got with freaking Carlton's ex-girlfriend and was kissing her at the party. You know, he was kind of clowning Carlton a little bit, but Carlton was doing weird stuff at the same time. But the whole point is they're from different backgrounds. Carlton is a spoiled rich black dude, and Will is a hood nigga from Philly. You know, so Carlton's doing a lot of goofy shit that Will don't really like. Like for example, there's a scene where Will comes into the locker room and all the white boys are saying nigga, and Carlton is dancing around with them, and Will was like, what the fuck? And they're like, nigga, who are you? And he's like, nah, you shouldn't be saying that, white boy, you don't say that. And he was about to like start some drama and whatnot. Um, you know, so there was that little scene. And he basically, every black kid in the school basically thinks that Carlton is a sellout black dude who only hangs out with rich white boys. But what they don't understand is he's literally a rich black dude. Of course he's gonna act like that, you know. And he literally was like the top student at the school. He was extremely popular, and then he gets mad because basically Will moves into his house. The whole family loves him. He takes his ex-girlfriend, and he becomes the coolest nigga in the school because he becomes a basketball player. And whatnot. And now the Rashad dude, that little plot we had, that nigga ends up getting killed. I believe it was Jeffrey who had somebody go and kill him. But the Rashad dude, we end up not seeing him no more. It's not really that big of a deal. And the show basically just shows us all the different things that all the different all the different characters in the family go through. You know, Will still struggles with, you know, the problems of not having a dad around his life. There's a struggle between Aunt Viv and Will's mother. They have a beef and resentment towards each other because Will's mother thinks that Aunt Viv acts like she's too better than her and she doesn't give her credit. And then Aunt Viv is like, well, you've always been the strong sister, the one that's always been, you know, in charge and taking care of everything. But she doesn't understand that her sister was strong for her. Her sister took care of her, took care of her mother when her mother was sick, you know, lived on her own. You know, so there's that resentment on that side. And the other side, Aunt Viv is like, why are you mad because I'm successful? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And I can understand both sides of their perspective on that. And then we have Hillary. Now, this version of Hillary is dark skinned and she fine as shit. That girl fine as hell, boy. Quit playing with me. That's, nigga, hey, bro. Hey, Hillary is freaking bad as hell in this show, bro. God damn. The original Hillary was bad, too. But this one, like, boy, she a chocolate ass queen. Oh, God, man. Hey, bro, she fine as hell. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, boy, woo, nigga. But this show also has Jazz in the show, and Jazz is from L.A. If I remember correctly, he's from Compton. And he was literally like a Lyft driver in the show, because this is like a reimagination where it's like in modern times. So we talk about social media, TikTok, all that stuff. And he was like a Lyft driver. But Will and them, I'm assuming him and Will talk for like the little 2 hour ride or whatever. And him and Will are hella cool. And Jazz is a little older in this show. If I remember correctly, in The Fresh Prince, Jazz and Will were supposed to be like the same age, I think. I think they both supposed to be like 16. But in this show, Jazz is like 20 and Will is like 15, 16. Well, he's 16. He starts out 16, then he has his 17th birthday. But this show hella good. Will is swagged out the whole show. This nigga be having the cleanest Jordans, the cleanest Nikes. The nigga is freaking, all his clothes is nice. I don't know if his mom bought him things, because his clothes is hella nice. I'm like, damn, bro, he really is swagged out. Like, this nigga really is hella fresh. Oh, God. And, what's her name? Ashley, the little sister, is a lesbian in this show. She has a crush on this little Latina girl. Carlton struggles with drugs, anxiety, stress, and he tries to be perfect in every way, shape, or form, and he tries to impress his dad all the time. And Hillary, she's really obsessed with social media. Like, she really wants to get famous online, and her mom got beef because Hillary stays in the pool house. She don't really stay in the house. She stays in the pool house, and she wants to be famous on like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you know, whatever the case. And her mom is like, I want you to go and get like a real job. And I can kind of relate to her a little bit when it comes to that. But she's like, nah. She's like, I want to live, you know, in an influencer house. I want to become popular online and get endorsements, you know, and get money that way. That's her dream. And her mom not really feeling that. Her mom really wants her to get like a real job and get real sponsors by doing like catering, and because she's really into food. Like, Hillary really loves to make food. The mom really loves to do art, and Hillary just really wants to do her own thing. She don't want her mom controlling her life, but her mom is looking at her like, nigga, you're like 23, whatever. You dropped out of college. Like, I'm trying to help you, and you won't take the help. So it's like that clash that a parent and their kid have. And this always happens when you're an adult, because as an adult, there's certain things that you want to do, and there's certain things that your parents feel like would be something better that you should do. So I 100% related to that, me being a 26-year-old myself. And yeah, it's just basically the whole family has beef with one another but loves one another. You know, Carlton and Will have beef. Ashley and the mom have beef. And then Will, he has like a lot of emotional outbursts every couple of episodes, because, you know, he's going through trauma, you know. And for a good little second in the show, Will was playing basketball outside, you know, because he wanted to get on the basketball team. Because he basically made a pact with himself, and he basically told Carlton, like, you know, I'm coming for that top spot. Because Carlton was clowning him at school. Like, Carlton is not innocent. Carlton was clowning this nigga like pretty much the whole time, talking mad crap. You know, so Will was like, I'm going to be running this school. And lo and behold, all the white girls started liking him. He got on the basketball team. But before he could even think of that shit, he kept going through what happened in his head. Meaning when he shot the gun in the air and all that stuff and he got arrested, he kept going through that same thing in his head. He had like that Vietnam flashbacks kind of thing, that the Army and the Navy and all them have. He just couldn't get over that. And honestly, the hood really is a war zone too. So it is what it is. But it goes through that for a minute, but then his uncle tells him, to get past it. And the Will ends up getting better at basketball because he starts thinking all the times that he was on the Philly basketball team and how he was one of the best. And he literally was going to play D1 basketball. Like the nigga's cold at basketball. That's like the whole point. But yeah, and then Carlton be on drugs. He's good at lacrosse. And he's like the most popular kid at the school with like the white boys. But then he actually first of all, Carlton makes me irritated as hell at first. But then later on I start sympathizing for him. And later on his character development is amazing. He goes from hating Will, being jealous of Will, being mad at Will, and having all this resentment for Will, to actually loving Will and caring about Will and understanding that he has a lot of emotional issues because Carlton has extremely low self-esteem, anxiety attacks, and he has a drug addiction, and he's very emotional. He's a very emotional boy. The whole point of his character to me was like he's very, very emotional, and his girlfriend basically got tired of being with him because he's so damn emotional, and she got tired of like tiptoeing around his emotions. But Will is also extremely emotional. He's just a hood dude. Because this version of him is a hood dude. He's goofy, but he's still from the hood. But the whole family like really likes him and whatnot. Of course, after a while they all really care about him, but they do tolerate his nonsense a lot. But Aunt Viv is trying to kind of hold the family together a lot of the time and trying to get them all to kind of calm down, except for Hillary because her and Hillary have a beef. And then sometimes, because Aunt Viv speaks her mind too much. You know what I'm saying? And then Hillary also speaks her mind too much. They're really similar, because Hillary is just like, man, can you just be happy for what I'm getting? Like, damn. And she really wants to prove to her family that she can live on her own and can support herself. But it can be very hard when you've been pampered your whole time and you've been rich, and you've been living as black excellence, since you were a little kid. It's very hard to get off of that and then try to do your own thing. So I like that this Ashley is, I mean not Ashley, this I forget her name, bro. I'm hella mad. How I forget her name? It's not Ashley. What the hell? God damn, I forget that, bro. Hold on. My bad. Hillary. But I don't know why I went through like a brain fart or whatever. But yeah, this Hillary, she's dark skinned. She's doing her social media thing. The old Hillary was more, they both into fashion. Let me not say that. They both into fashion. But the old Hillary was like on talk shows and stuff like that. This Hillary is more like she wants to do social media. So she still wants to be like getting attention and being in front of big crowds and stuff. But she wants to do it the social media way. And then Ashley, we get her small little storyline about her being a lesbian and her liking this little Mexican girl. And the little Mexican girl actually likes Will. And then it kind of hurts her feelings because she's like, what the hell? So it does tackle LGBTQ problems. It tackles problems from the hood. It tackles being rich and spoiled. It tackles a lot of topics, a lot of politics. The whole show is about politics. But it's a really good show. I just finished the first season. I'm about to hit up this second season. Let me know y'all side of this. Like, how do y'all think of Bel-air went? And I know I'm a couple of years late. I think it came out like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I think the new season just came out, like a couple months ago, but I'm not sure. But tell me y'all thoughts on Bel-air. Tell me what you like about Bel-air. Tell me what you like about the original Fresh Prince. Tell me what you think could be better in Bel-air. But for me personally, the show is like a 9 out of 10. And I really like Will Smith's character. There's one part that's really funny. It's a nod to the old school Fresh Prince Bel-air. But basically, Carlton's ex-girlfriend messing with Will, she gets a mustard stain on his school jacket. He goes to Bel-air and they have to wear the little student jackets. So Will flips it inside out and he has like the other side of it. That shit clean, bro. That's hard, bro. The old school Will Smith did the same thing, but that's hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's hard. But y'all tell me y'all thoughts on the show. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. Y'all want to be friends? Let me know. Leave your comments, questions, and concerns at the bottom. Like I said, you can hit me up on Instagram if you have any video ideas, any videos you want me to make, on self-esteem issues, any type of issues you're going through. I'll try to help you guys the best I can with the problems that you are going through. I love you guys. Virtual hug. Y'all take care. Peace, blessings, and remember to always feel this love because it's real.